Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. Hopefully everything is working now. Please let me know if there's an audio issue or anything. One day I will have an external graphics card that doesn't just not work at times. And once I get $800 that I could spare to buy that, first thing I'll do. Okay, it looks like everything else is pretty good, so hopefully all the audio, everything is clear. Please, if it's not, let me know in the comments section and I will get to it. But now let's start on the mobile news. So let's go over the first big topic, which is definitely got to be the Samsung Note 10 updates. So overall, we have it right here. The images are about the Note 10. The images are about the Note 10 and the case. There's another case reveal, and the thing about this case reveal is really the fact that it's a big deal because, again, this one really does point towards an IR blaster. Now let me point out why. This one right here is a standard noise canceling mic hole. This one right here is too small for a headphone jack. So I want to stress that. On this case, it is showing us it is too small for a headphone jack. However, there is no headphone jack on the bottom of this one, and that's the real big thing. Hey, look at this one. Check out their YouTube channel. But basically, the S Pen, the speaker, the Type-C, and again, the other microphone. So that's the real big thing when it comes around to it, is overall, this is again showing one, no headphone jack, but two, and more importantly, but also concerning, is that it looks like we will be getting a IR blaster and also only one speaker on the bottom. And from what we're hearing and what we're seeing in the latest schematics, it's really curious to see how will we get a dual speaker, if at all, because it doesn't look like they have enough room at the top to fit an earpiece grill. Now that might be possible, but in the latest leaks it certainly didn't seem that way. And the other thing is that it definitely looks like either the screen can be all sound, which we've seen other manufacturers do that, not to very good quality, I might add, but let's just see. I hope that the earpiece still works as a secondary speaker. I think it works quite well for Samsung, and when other phones have done it where it's the screen that is, I have not had the best results overall. Alright, then we move on to Huawei's comeback. Now, Huawei's comeback is a little bit about a couple different things. So, first of all, we do talk about Huawei. Basically, first, the US companies that did work with them are finding ways around the ban. What do I mean by that? Well, Micron was one of the biggest ones that, does different chipsets for Huawei. And with them, they have found out, since they are not the majority in terms of the supply of these certain parts, they can actually still work with Huawei because of that. So they're fine, basically. So that is one way kind of around it with the whole semiconductor market. And they are affecting FedEx though as well. Just so you know, if you ship things through FedEx right now, it is being concerning because it might not be, it might have held it up, basically. So it's definitely concerning. Like for me, I was still thinking about buying a Huawei Mate 20 Pro from last year if it went down a certain amount, or even the P30 Pro. But if I buy it and it gets held up because of the way it's shipped, that is probably not something I want to do. Then, again, please no politics on this. We're just covering the tech part of it. And that is Trump saying that Huawei can sell again in terms of hardware, no problem, if the trade war is basically ended, which again, right now it looks like it's compromised. But the big reason of that, of course, is because with that, it looks like Huawei can again do hardware. Now, software, there's still major concerns. It's still a threat. It's still on the list. But as of right now, that is what's going down with Huawei and their comeback into the US. And then we have an exclusive from Sam Mobile. Sam Mobile is basically one of the best sources for Samsung by far, and they broke down the first image leaks of the Galaxy Watch Active 2. Now, the big difference of this one is, of course, it is a Watch Active 2, not a Galaxy Watch 2 like mine. See, I would love for another version of this, mainly because once they got the latest software update, my battery life has diminished compared to what it once was. Now I only get 2 days when I was getting 4 days, so that really kind of sucks. But with this one, it's going to be a Galaxy Watch Active. Now, the big problem I had with Galaxy Watch Active is, although it looks like nicer, like a piece of jewelry in a sense, and a main competitor to Apple Watch in terms of look and style, it really just had a big bezel that I was rather annoyed with, and it didn't have this dial that, you know, makes the entire software work for Samsung watches, and I really did miss that. And the bezel just looked huge on the original Galaxy Watch. Now, we don't know if that bezel is minimized now. We will have a 40mm band and 44mm band, so different sizes comparing to the current one that was just a smaller one. But we'll have to wait and see that. I really am curious to see how this plays out. I do think that overall the Galaxy Watch 2 has a look to it, but I'm worried about these bezels and how big they are going to be, because they were huge on the Galaxy Watch Active. I originally thought, like, oh, maybe I could get this for my mom for her birthday, and once I saw those bezels, I was like, no, this is just no. So we'll have to wait and see. Basically, the one that they had pictures of was in between the original Galaxy Watch Active and the Galaxy Watch. So very curious to see how it will turn out. The bigger one is 44mm, which is still smaller than the 46mm one you get here. But very curious to see how it turns out. Again, I think the biggest thing we need to see in this watch is smaller bezels, because that was the biggest hindrance on the current Galaxy Watch Active. All right. Then let's talk about the news that happened this week. Oh, before I do, we have a super chat. Thank you, Denard Ballard. As always, great contributor from before on the Patreon days. Really appreciate all your donations. And they are moving the S Pen to the left side now. Yes, which actually led me to believe that that could have been a fake. Like, that made, like, why is it on the... There's no reason why Samsung should move it to the left side. The reason why I say that is because the left side has the camera, so already, you know, they have a lot of stuff going on the left side. The other main reason is it doesn't make sense since more people are right-handed, right? So with more people being right-handed, you want to just go like this and then right with your right hand. If you go, I don't know, it's just coming out of this side, it just feels a little off. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I think that is what caused me to actually question it. So thank you for bringing that up, because I didn't mention that I did think that it was weird that it was on the left side instead of the right side for the S Pen. All right, so let's talk about the whole John Ivey leaving the aluminum Apple. Basically, yes, he's leaving to start his own firm. So Apple is considered to be obviously one of the firm's clients. But of course what this means is that they can have other clients, like Samsung. They could have Google as a client. They could have Huawei as a client. All these different, basically, John Ivey could design tech for a lot of different companies. And obviously not just tech, they could design it for anything, furniture, whatever you want. So it really is kind of interesting, that aspect, that the mobile industry and all tech industry in general could be changed by one guy. But here's the thing. Overall, with this, he had his ups and downs, right? He had the Apple Watch, which is a mixed bag, I think. I think the square was really the wrong way to go, and the circular would have been better. He had the notch on the iPhone. So overall, he had the cheese grater, which, you know, that's the whole thing. But overall, he was more so handpicked by Steve Jobs, and that's why he held so much high regard in the world of Apple. Overall, I see this as just another kind of going away from the Steve Jobs era, and I think we will only see that go more and more. Tim Cook is all about numbers. Steve Jobs was all about picking the best, only the best, and nothing but the best. And Tim Cook just rather sell more iPhones, and because it will gain more profitability, which makes sense. He was a numbers guy. Now he is still a numbers guy. So overall, I think it's just showing that this is not the Apple of yesteryear. And Johnny Ive leaving is just more concrete evidence of that. Let me know what you guys think. Again, for me, he wasn't always the most epic designer. Obviously, the big thing he got so highly acclaimed for were the original, the original iMacs, where the color, the neon turquoise and the neon orange, and all those different colors, and then the I think it was called the iBook actually before it was called the MacBook, if I'm not mistaken. But all those ones that were really nifty and cool in the 90s, I think that's what really kind of his some of his peak. And then of course I would say the original iPhone 2 was okay, but yeah, a lot of things that came from that era are because of him. And I think him and Steve worked best together. In past years, it looked like they really put a lot of the design on him, and it kind of overwhelmed him, and he said himself he was burned out. All right, so I found this one kind of funny, just because people always tell me about how, oh my god, stock Android is the best, purists want to believe that stock Android is better, and Android is finally getting something that, again, companies like Samsung have had for years on Android, and that is something called Fast Share. So Fast Share is going to be the equivalent of sharing things via Wi-Fi Direct on Samsung. On Samsung, you can share things Wi-Fi Direct between two phones, no problem. It can do gigs in a second. It's really quick. For Wi-Fi share, for Fast Share, it's basically going to be a similar thing, where you can share something via Fast Share, and basically what it is you open the app, you see what is, you name your device, then you see what's around you. Once you see what's around you, you can then share to that device, and then it sends it, and it is sent. On the receiver side, you see, hey, Fast Share, this person wants to send with you. Do you accept? You accept, and then it begins to download on your phone, and then it's available to you. Simple, easy. I will say it's better that more devices have this, because this is something that I get annoyed with when I have something on my Samsung phone or on my LG phone and I want to send it to each other. Wi-Fi Direct doesn't work through that. I have to do it through Bluetooth, so it's really just not as fast. So I do like the idea of them using something like that embedded into Android, so it's just easier. We used to have Android Beam, but again, it wasn't as fast. It generally used Bluetooth because Wi-Fi Direct wasn't able to be across the board until now. So that is going to be good. I think they should bake this into Android. I don't even think it should be a separate app, but it's something that, again, should be always available. And again, this does look like it is enabled in the Android Q beta for the 3XL, so hopefully we will see it on the mobile OS for Android Q in general, and then updated through through the Google Play Store. So overall, I think this will be a great feature, and hopefully something that we get more and more of as time goes by. But it's something that should have been around a long time ago, and something that you had on Samsung for years. Samsung, by the way, had this before AirDrop was out. That's how long Samsung's had this feature. And finally, Google's like, oh, we should do that, huh? Yeah. Google. All right. Speaking of Google, they also are finally releasing to developers the potential for Fuchsia. So Fuchsia has been a long rumored in-between of Android and Chrome OS as a new operating system. It has really been more of a play thing for the most part, just to tinker with, but it's getting more and more. They're basically kind of going over how to use it, what you can do with it. So it'll be interesting to see if this becomes something. I don't think it would become something this year, to be quite honest. I think this might be something you might see at next year's Google I/O if developers get pushed into it. But it's really something to be quite interested in if we get a new operating system overall. So yeah, it's really something that is going to be curious to see how it goes, and will it be something entirely different comparing, because it's not based off of Linux like Android and Chrome are. It really is based off of its own kind of different kind of kernel overall. So basically it should be able to run on a lot faster in comparison to other things out there. Like, this should have the software efficiency greater than iOS would for Apple products right now. So it's a goal to definitely strive for, but it's one that I think will take time, and I think you're still going to have to wait 2 to 3 years before we see anything have released with this product. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it can go sooner, but I think at the soonest we'll get a Fuchsia announcement overall for public will be for next year Google I/O at the soonest. And then thereafter, maybe they're going to launch a product with it at the end of next year, or more likely in 2021. We'll have to wait and see, but I think this has been a slow burn, and it will continue to be a slow burn. All right, guys, that was the news today. Now let's get to your questions in the comment section down below. If you guys have any questions, just ask them in the comment section, and I will answer them before the end of the show. Okay, on the Note 10 Plus, do you think people will complain about now pushing the power button by accident instead of the Bixby button? I do. I just, for me, it's quite simple. Power on the right, and then on the left, the volume rocker. There's no confusion that way. I don't like when I get extra buttons. I really don't like it overall. I have a bunch of phones here. So like this, again, power button, volume rocker on the OnePlus, but I have this little slider thing. I sometimes touch it and I'm like, oh wait, that's not a button that I'm gonna hit. I don't know why it was that low on the OnePlus. I really think it should have been here, but there that says. And then I have this other one where I do get more confused. This is the Red Magic 3. And on this one, I have nothing on this side, but yeah, I have a volume rocker and a power button, and I always get this confused. And I wish it was more just, again, like LG right here. Power, volume rocker. It's just, it's very simple. Google and the Red Magic did the opposite, right? So Pixel 3, power, volume rocker below. This one, volume rocker up top, then power. I wish it just should be streamlined. Right side should always be power. Left side should be the volume rocker. And it's been that way for so long. But certain little manufacturers like to play around with it. And I think it's definitely not necessary, let's just say. All right, how do you think the SOD will sound? Will it be stereo sound, or will it be a full, rich, powerful sound? I do not think it will be the best sound, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. They're keeping the bottom speaker for a reason, so I think, you get the bass from the bottom speaker, and typically when the screen is the speaker, you typically get a more high tones rather than low tones coming out of the bottom speaker. That's why sometimes you have both, to answer your question on why keep it. Ricky, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Yes, I'm doing pretty good. Very tired, but yeah, keep going every day. I'm early. Good morning from India. Good morning from India. What time is it over there in India right now? I had an LG G8. I think the sound under the display is pretty awful compared to an actual speaker. Yes, I did record, although I have to re-record it, the LG review that we had. And yeah, the speaker really is, like, compared to every other speaker I have, it's just really not good. I hope Samsung does much better than LG did. Yeah, I really hope they don't do it for that reason. Should I buy a Note 10 or wait for the S11 or the Note 11? I have an S8 Plus. I definitely think at this point you should wait to see what the Note 10 has, just because it's so close to it, and from there decide if it's worth it for you or wait till later. Everything is good on my. Okay, yeah, this was when I was asking about the sound. IR Blaster returning on the Note 10. Yes, it is looking that way more and more that we're getting an IR Blaster, and at least we get something. Whoa, whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. Let's see. Does anyone know why my Note 8 locks itself every 2 minutes? Like I'm using it normal and suddenly it locks and goes away and display. Make sure there's not something on there. Like with the Note 8, you might have, I forgot, in the settings, under either advanced features or the display, the smart look, I think it's called. And if something is covering your sensor, it might think that, oh, you're not looking at it, so it might automatically turn off. That could be one thing I can think of off the top of my head, but it could just be a glitch with an update. What's the most expensive Bluetooth wireless earbuds available? I mean, there are $1,000 ones. Like, you want the most expensive? I know there's AKG ones that are like 1,000 plus, but I'm sure there's higher than that. Sennheiser has some $1,000 plus one. There are really high end ones. So yeah. I believe there's going to be in-screen speaker. Samsung is a very smart company. They definitely find a way to surprise us. Great live video, by the way, watching on the S10. Well, thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate that. Oh, Samsung Security found the person who leaked the Note 10 photos, and they were terminated from employment. Ooh, I really do feel for that. I mean, hopefully they got paid. Like, hopefully they got paid very well for leaking that, because yeah, it's not good. Hi Ricky, can you modify the direct share items that are listed? Mine always show a contact as the first entry and then have under his email over a year. No, it's supposed to change as you message people more and more. So as you pick people more and more, it's supposed to change, and it does on mine. I'm not sure why it wouldn't on yours, but you can just turn the direct share off as well. I often do that now, just because I do so many videos that it was always something I would have to blur out, and now with it off, I just don't have to blur anything out anymore. But yeah, that's basically it. That was a view the screen. Wait, what? Thanks very much for your support. Samsung shouldn't mess with the watch design. Yeah, I hope they really don't, but we'll see. The Active 2 competition is mostly Fitbit product line. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the original Active watch that came out earlier this year was easily made to compete with Fitbit, right? It really was a low-cost device, and it definitely showed. I don't know why we're having a part two already when the first one just came out. It's just, are they basically admitting to themselves that it was a dud kind of thing? That's what I get from it. Ricky, the S Pen is still on the right side. No, that pic was the phone lying on the down screen. Let me see that photo again. Maybe you're right. Maybe that was the photo flipped down, and then it would be on the right side. So you are right. Maybe it was just flipped, and I didn't think of that. So yeah, good call. Good call. It looks like the S Pen would be on the same side. You're good. Alan, good call. I never gave into the U.S. scare tactics. I'm still on my Mate 20 Pro. Huawei Huawei may just take the number one spot from Sammy. I think it'll be curious if they can. I just don't know if they can. It's so much of a gap. It's still over 20 million phones a year, but we'll see. It's not impossible. As a left-handed person, I fully approve of the Note Pen of the S Pen being on this side. Got it. Will there be a Galaxy Watch 2 with 5G that Verizon is considering? Maybe, maybe not. Well, thank you always, our favorite tipster, Mullet Baby, for always letting us know the inside scoop. So maybe there might be a Galaxy Watch 2 with 5G. Why do you need a watch with 5G? Like, why do you need a watch with 5G? And why would... Because Verizon wants it, and they would just want to tout it like the first 5G watch. You do not need a watch with 5G. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. And with that, we also got two super chats. Brian Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat. And John Krupp. Whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. Thank you. I guess people always do like that phrase. Thank you so much for that. Oh, and it looks like we did have a spammer, but thank you, Alex, for catching that. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see. A whole bunch of questions really did load, so I'm trying to find everything now. Let's see. Hi, bro. Where do you report from? UK or elsewhere? I report from the US. I live in Los Angeles, California. I do love the UK, though. I really would love to visit that again. And man, dude, I miss their breakfast. That was just one of the best breakfasts I ever had in the UK. I have the Galaxy Watch and I love it. I do as well. Does anyone know where he's from? Answered that question already. Hey, buddy, thanks for the pick of for my son believes me now. Yes, Alex, thank you for wanting to take a pic for me so your son would believe that we met and have known each other. Yes. Apple had airdrop issue at Baltimore International Airport where a passenger on some Southwest flights used airdrop to send troll photos of people without clothing. Wow, that's scary. You won't see Fuchsia till 2020 since Google told its vendors be ready, they're going to be moving on with something new to unify Google products and app development. Well, that's great. And so my prediction was kind of right. It would be late 2020 basically by the time we see something really with it. Note 10 or Galaxy Fold, given the fix all the issues. I want to see if they improved any issues. My big thing is the Galaxy Fold going to be the same as before, or did they improve it? I think they are taking their time because they're improving it, or at least I'm hoping. But we'll have to wait and see. I think that we'll get some changes from the Galaxy Fold from what it originally was to make it even more appealing. I'm hearing buzz on the Pixel 4. What buzz? I haven't heard anything since Google released the photo, really. So I'm curious if you've heard anything else. I mean, we're not getting it, as far as I know, till October. So I'm curious to see what buzz about it. Have you heard about the Samsung clamshell folding phone? Seeing some nice rumors. Yeah, it is really rumors, more based on more so patents. But again, patents happen all the time. Samsung's had those kind of patents, so I do believe they will make one eventually, but I don't think it'll be this year. We are moving beyond buttons. The most ambitious Note 10 prototypes had no buttons on it. The design was not used. They are going to issue patents for innovation. Yeah, I'm really curious to see Samsung's digital bezel thing that they patented recently. So I think that has to do with basically no buttons. Galaxy Fold Gen 2 coming soon. Scrap the original. I'm hearing that as well, and hopefully, I'm hoping it's true. Do you think that the A90 will be a top phone? I do not. I don't think the A series is in enough countries to really be considered a top phone. I think they're really making it to combat everything, but yeah. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. And thank you, Alex, for the super chat. Everybody drink. Um, let's see. My girl just switched from the Pixel from an iPhone. Any input? Best suggestion. Whew. Best suggestion. Pixel stock, so it's different on how to suggest things for it. First and foremost, make sure you're using Google Photos. You can actually take all of your iPhone photos and back them up through Google Photos, and then that way you can actually have them on your new Pixel. So that's one thing for her to move all her photos aside. Make sure she downloads Movies Anywhere. That will allow her to get all of her iTunes movie purchases over to her Pixel. The other thing would be to, if she wants to transfer all of her music, if she still has her own music and isn't using something like Spotify or something like that, she can take iTunes and transfer it over to Google Play Music. That would be on a computer, though. Unfortunately, they don't have a way of doing that on a phone. But those are some general steps of transferring everything over to her Pixel so she doesn't miss her iPhone as much. Those would be some suggestions I would recommend. iOS public beta is out. Yes, it is. And I've been hearing really good things about the iPad one, although it still needs work, obviously, with glitches. But I think as it gets more and more better, you're going to see better off. The new phone, the new phone Samsung is in design stage of being developed is a fold clamshell. They put an order for a 6.7-inch display. I think that's okay. Like, I don't get the appeal of it. Like, one person who loves the idea is from Pocket Now, Jaime Rivera. He absolutely loves this, and I'm like, why? I don't get, like, I don't have a problem with a phone this size in my pocket. I don't. So, all that a clamshell does is closes it and makes it this big. So, now we're talking like as big as like a wallet, right? So, you know, it's like, what makes the difference? Then it's going to be thicker in your pocket. I don't see a benefit in the clamshell design other than it looking cool. For me, same thing with the laptop, the foldable laptops. I didn't really see that big of a deal with it because we're already used to having a laptop fold because of the keyboard. So you're not really saving space. It's not a real, I would say, benefit because you're still having a 10-inch screen and you're folding it down, and it's just not too much of a benefit in my opinion. The benefit I really like, and maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe once I see these products to come out, who knows, it might be different. But the benefit of a phone going into a tablet is we have the same form factor that we have now, maybe a little bit thicker, but then it opens up into a bigger screen that we normally could not fit into our pocket. That, to me, is useful more so than just a clamshell phone. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys more excited for a clamshell foldable device? Like, you know, like basically the phone we have now, they can fold. Or are you more interested in something that, like the Huawei Mate X, yeah, right? That's what it was called. The Huawei's foldable device and the Galaxy Fold. Which one are you more interested in? Is there another way to get the old dual front and rear camera on the Notes? Do you know of anyone? Brian, that is something I've been trying to figure out. I have not found any good one, to be honest. But yeah, I really, 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 really miss the ability to take video with both the front and rear camera at the same time. Why Samsung got rid of that is still baffling to me. It was one of their best features, and yeah, something that I really miss. Um, let's see. What's the difference between the Galaxy Buds and the Samsung Icon X? Better sound quality, better touch gestures, I would say, are the two things that I noticed. Although I had the first Icon X generation, not the 2018 ones, so it might be more similar than I had experienced. Full English breakfast? Yes, I had a full English breakfast with like the sausage, the eggs, the baked beans, a bunch of stuff. I don't remember all of it, but it was all delicious. It was like chorizo too. One part, yeah, it was like really interesting. It was great. It called it the full English breakfast. That little hole in the wall place when I was in England. It was awesome. And July 5th, you'll see more leaks on the Note 10 since the betas will be given out in Texas. Interesting. July 5th. Remember that date, guys. I'm getting enough doing torqued off enough about what they're doing to the Note 10. I'm actually thinking about saving my money and replacing my Note 8, maybe going to the OnePlus. Thoughts? I mean, well, here's the thing. What's bothering you about the Note 10? Not having a headphone jack? OnePlus doesn't have a headphone jack. I mean, it's just like, so for me, it's all about like, okay, you're getting upset about what they might be doing to the Note 10, but what do you really get upset about that is available for another place? So yeah. Ricky, do you still have the active Galaxy Fold pre-order reservation with Samsung? No, I do not. I actually never got to do it. I was literally in line to get one in terms of their digital line, but I actually never got a confirmed order like most people did, just because it was a long story. But their issue, I registered to get emailed when the Galaxy Fold was available to pre-order for, and I never got an email, and I was a day late basically, and of course I was just like, nowhere close to getting in line. So yeah. What up? I spoke to a Note 10 tester from a carrier store in town in Texas. And what can you tell us about that? Confirm, no auxiliary, the hole punch camera in the middle, no SD card, but he did mention he had the non-pro version. Okay, guys, so we just got some breaking news from a person that again talked to the whole part of okay, so he said no headphone jack on the regular Note 10, not the Pro. We do not know about the Pro yet. But as for the regular Note 10, no headphone jack, no SD card, hole punch in the middle. What do you guys think about that information? Let me know in the comment section down below right now. No headphone jack, no micro SD card, and hole punch in the middle. Let me know your thoughts right away. Is the Galaxy Note 9 to the A70 an upgrade? Not exactly. I mean, the A series they're really not paying that much attention to, and they typically have lower processors in comparison. But I do not know that A series specifically, so don't quote me on like it really being lower tier. But I know they're usually more mid-range in terms of their specs. Not necessarily their cameras, mind you. Hi, Ricky. Do you think 5G would be harmful to bodies in the long run? 5G has not been tested to see if it causes bodily harm. Your thoughts? Okay, so there's a lot of thoughts on this. I think Linus did a really good job. If you haven't watched, I forgot if it was Tech Quickie or Linus Tech Tops. He really talked about the health concerns about 5G and why one thing got blown out of proportion in terms of a health scare. So, in California, for instance, where I live, anything that is sold with a lithium battery or anything that has any kind of frequency has to be labeled as could cause cancer. Okay? So, that being said, 5G, the millimeter bands that most 5G is based off of, is also labeled as that. So then people took that as 5G causes cancer. We're all doomed. We're all screwed. Blah, blah, blah. Now, what you said is actually really true. And I have said that in my 5G video, and I've said that in a lot of mobile weeklies. The whole thing is we cannot be definitive on any way, shape, or form about 5G and health concerns because there's not enough testing that's been done. That's the real truth. Not enough testing has been done on 5G millimeter technology to know how it affects the bodies. Now, the things that it transmits, like coffee has some more than that. Tea has some more than that. So it's like, we do not know yet, but anything you've seen on 5G being definitively bad for bodies came from a source that isn't reliable as of yet. Samsung is saving the Title Pro for the Galaxy Flip with the S Pen. Interesting. Is Movies Anywhere safe? Yeah, Movies Anywhere is actually just all the studios got together, except for like Paramount, and basically fusioned. They basically just said like, hey, you can have all of these accounts and all of your movies will be spread out through everything. It's nothing like, downloading like illegal movies. It is literally just, hey, let's connect your Google sign in to your Apple sign in, to your Amazon sign in, to your Vudu sign in. And all of these movies are now on all of those platforms, no matter what you use on what product or device. Also, 5G comes with standard Rigsby OS smartwatches. It's the only way to play the Rigsby edition of 50 First Dates costs. Product placement. Yes, thank you for that reminder. As always, every single week on Mobile Weekly. And by the way, the thank you guys for everyone that's downloaded our app, which I'm about to talk about, 50 First Date questions, because the revenue's gone up on this about $10 over this past month. So thank you guys for everyone that did download it. And yeah, every week I plug our app that I created, and basically it's just a fun app. It's a great date question app that you can play with 2 players. It's very simple. There's some ads on the bottom, or you can pay $1 and to get rid of the ads. And yeah, it's a really fun game. I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. We've had viewers on here say that they played it and they really had a great time. If you go on a date or know anyone that is going on a date, tell them to download this. It's a really great game, and it's an easy icebreaker that a lot of people find out so much more about the person or things they might have forgotten about the person. Trust me, even I forgot things about my wife that this game helped me remember. All right. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. Okay. We still don't know if the Note 10 Pro is the 5G version or not. The Note 10 has all the ideas and innovations that they wanted to put in the S10, but didn't. What kind of innovations? I'm not a fan of foldable phones, so yeah. What are your thoughts on the Vivos 120 watt charging? I think it's interesting. I think that's scary too, to have that much of a charge. You're talking about double the charge than most laptops on a phone. I want that to be tested thoroughly before I would touch it. That's all I'm saying. Best true wireless buds. Currently, right now, I would still say, out of all the wireless buds that have come out, still has to be the Jabra 65T Actives. Those are the best Bluetooth true wireless headphones I've ever tested. I did not spend a lot of time with the Beats Pro wireless as much, But I will tell you, sound quality wise, testing them both, Jabra easily took that. Comfort was okay, but yeah, the Jabra are still the best. However, I will say I expect them to come out with a new one because they have not refreshed that for a while now. So I do expect them to come out with a new one. The last time they refreshed it was last year's CES, not this year's. So I expect them to come out with a new one soon. Another old note, number 3, feature that I loved called Photo Note, where you could take a photo, you can make a note, on the virtual back. Yeah, you could like sign the back of an old photo. That was pretty fun, but yeah, they got rid of that too. Have you talked about the RCS in G messaging moving forward, sidestepping carriers to get on board? I did talk about that, I think, 2 weeks ago when it was first announced for the UK and for France. We do not have that in the US. I would love to have that in the US. And I hope that it comes soon because, yeah, screw the carriers. And Google should have said screw the carriers a long time ago and always sidestepped them, to be honest. After the Fold mess, social media teams wants to limit access to the handsets to influences. They evaluated the whole program from top to bottom. They don't want a repeat. You know how they don't get a repeat? By sending it to this guy. Let's see. No SD card sounds rough. I don't think an SD card is necessary with 128 gigs of storage. That's just my opinion. And honestly, an SD card is honestly going to throttle the heck out of your phone with the Note 10. It's going to have UFS 3.0. That is going to slow down your phone so much. You're talking about like close to 1,000 megabits per second, and your little memory card is getting like 95. You talk about bottlenecking. That sounds like a tech rant I should go on, or at least inform people about why they don't want a memory card if one is available for the Note 10. Did you see the article about the U.S. government trying to get rid of end-to-end encryption messaging? iMessage, WhatsApp trying to mandate a backdoor option. I don't think that would ever happen, and I don't think, that would ever be possible, or shouldn't at least. I might be okay with that non-pro. No headphone jack, no SD card, no buy. Give me 512 gigs built in, some upgradable buds, and I'm glad with the trade-off. 512, dang, you can't even get 256, you have to get 512. I want an SD card on the Note 10. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. Let's see. Not a fan of the hole punch in the middle. Still want a Note 10. I must have a micro SD card option though. A Note 10 Plus, hopefully. Yeah, maybe the Plus version will have it. Ricky, I hear you saying the Note 10 Pro. There won't be a Note 10 Pro, but a Note 10 Plus. So the rumor is currently right now that we could be getting these. This is the current rumor that we're definitely getting a Note 10 and we're definitely getting a Note 10 Plus. However, we could be getting a Note 10 Pro, and the Pro version would be the 5G version. Or we could be getting a Note 10 Plus, and that will also be the 5G version. Or we could be getting a Note 10 5G. So basically, as of right now, it's most likely that there will be at least 2 Notes, pretty much, dead set. And there's an option of a third Note being either called the Note 10 Pro or the Note 10 5G. We'll have to wait and see. That's why I also keep saying Pro, but I do mean Plus for the most part. You are right in that if I keep saying Pro. I think someone said Pro when I was reading the Pro part, so yeah. Pro, quick Pro. Not a fan of, read that. No headphone jack, no SD card, won't buy it. I'm going to stick with my Note 9, must have all those things. I was at AT&T 5G launch party in Vegas on Saturday. AT&T could not answer why only business customers can order it right now. They don't even have plans for them yet. Yeah, I really was interested in why that is. Like, now all of them, all the other ones have it. S10 5G can be purchased on T-Mobile, Sprint, and Verizon, and yet we do not have it for AT&T unless you're a business customer and you can get it through corporate lines only. Don't know why that is, but that is what it is. Have you tried the Power Pro? I mentioned that, yes. What do you think of them? Also, can you tell me how to mirror my Samsung on my computer? Samsung took that option away for the most part, actually. They are currently in the process of bringing it back, but currently you can only do it with the smartphone and with the Tab S5e. But how you used to be able to do it was something called, oh God, what was that called? Help me out in the comment section, guys, if you guys know this. What was it called when you could mirror your phone to your computer? Side sync. Side sync. Samsung side sync was the way to do it before. Samsung did get rid of that though. Don't know why. They replaced it with Samsung Flow. Samsung Flow is not good in comparison to side sync, so it is, I would say, a lower tier of it. Let's see. He said it was the Note 10. Said it was really buggy, of course, but they were pushing a lot of updates. Also, great improvements to the pen battery life. Oh, great improvements to the pen. Battery life was a lot better than the S10 Plus. S10 Plus was a really good battery life, at least for me. I know some people have said they had issues, especially after some updates. But that's really awesome that there's improvements to the pen. I really want improvements to the pen. I miss the pen so much. Like I think about the S Pen sometimes, and I'm just like, I can't wait to get it back. I just, it. This is always like when I'm at the end of not having the S Pen for almost 6 months. I'm just like, I need my S Pen. I need my S Pen. I really do love the S Pen. I really do love it. There's so many times when I'm like, this would be perfect to have an S Pen to highlight this section right now, and I don't have it. Note 10 Plus or definitely a Fold with your improvements. A Fold with my improvements would outsell every phone this year. No, it wouldn't, but it would make them millions of dollars. Unless they give me an SD card option with the Pro, I will stick with my Note 9. Funny how we get so many leakers on here. I see it. I see it when I see it. I'll see it when I see it. Honestly, yeah. I mean, well, some of you guys have been really reliable, and some newer people. Hey, I'm glad you choose to let me know on the chat. I really appreciate it, and thank you for the leaks. I cannot thank you guys more. Ricky, how much does your app cost? My app is free. It's 99 cents if you want to pay to remove the ads, but the app is entirely free. Links in the description. Hi, Ricky. Do you like or dislike the hole punch? I don't like it, but I don't hate it. I really I do like what OnePlus did with the pop-up camera, especially because I don't use selfies a lot. So for me, like, this is perfect. Like, I don't have any issues with this. And yeah, I really do like just, the whole screen. No punch, nothing. So yeah, I don't have a problem with the mechanical design, or not really caring too much about the selfies for the most part. 5G has been first tested in Chernobyl. Reports say no health concerns at this time. Well, really? Got a 512 unlocked Note 9 512 with 512 micro SD card deal from Samsung. Google Play Music won't sync no matter what I try. Can't send it back because I dropped it. Any ideas on syncing? Um, I'm not sure why it won't sync. I have the Note 9 512 version. Never had an issue syncing my Google Play Music, which not only did I sync it, I also downloaded it to it. Oh, wait a minute. I know what you're doing. What's happened is you probably have more than 10 devices on your account. If you cannot remove your old devices on your account, you have to contact Google's customer service. Go to a web browser, go to Google Play Music, and get customer service chat, and say if you can't remove your old devices, tell them and they'll remove it. I have to do it once a year almost because of all the devices I have, and I want to test the music comparison and speaker comparisons. So yeah, definitely I would say do that. How can you get your iTunes songs on Android without a computer? Can you do it on your phone directly? No, you cannot do it on your phone directly. You have to have a computer. That is the only way to get your iTunes onto your Android device with Google Play Music. Then they're in the cloud forever. Even if you download a new iTunes songs, it automatically uploads to Google Play Music. So that is by far the best way. Till Friday, there are only 10 Note handsets in the U.S. right now. AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon CEOs have them, and the network tester units, and 6 for Samsung North America leadership. That is so cool that you tell me this information. Note 10e, maybe not. Why do you tease me so? Samsung cannibalizes their sales. I think a 10e would be. I think a Note 10e would be a bad idea, but we'll have to wait and see. Visor is a good mirroring app. I will have to check that out. Huh. I have not found a good mirroring app since SideSync, so that will be cool to have that back. Samsung Flow is now S-Voice versus Bixby. I mean, Bixby. Samsung Flow bites. I completely agree. S Pen withdrawal. I need my S Pen. I need my S Pen. Need my S Pen. By the way, it's 9:03. Okay, 9:03. We should be wrapping up then. Guys, send in your last questions so we can answer them before we end the show. And yeah, thank you guys as always for watching. Note 10 trade-in offers will for all channels are being finalized after the second week of July to be announced at Unpacked. They hold up is if the S10 lineup will be included. I would say the S10 lineup will not be included. We'll see. But it just makes sense that it's not included. It wasn't included last year. It hasn't been included for, I would say, a couple of times now. So I'm fine. I have my Note 9. I'm going to trade that in. Although I really think I'm going to sell the Note 9. Because one thing that gets me about the Note 9 is I have the 512 version. And I feel that I might be able to sell it for more than what Samsung will trade in. But I don't know. Tried that, only getting partial playlists. I only get 40 out of 200 or 60 out of 300 songs in different playlists. Whoa. I haven't had an issue with that. I'm not sure. Thoughts on night mode on the S10? It's good. I have no issues with night mode on the S10. It's a night mode. It hasn't had any issues, or didn't, I would say, do it not properly. I think it did it just fine. I moved from the iPhone XS to the S10. Much better phone. Yeah, with Samsung, it's easier to transition because Samsung can pull everything from the iPhone very easily, whereas the Pixel, you leave some stuff away. Also, even link sharing. You can send 4K videos to an iPhone with a Samsung. You can't do it with a Pixel. So that is the benefit of Samsung over. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. It's actually important. That is true. If you did like this video, please hit the like button. It actually really does help out now. And again, not only for me, but any YouTuber you are currently wanting to support, hitting the like button actually really helps now. So thank you for that. Best S10 accessories. Wireless chargers. I love the wireless chargers, especially from Samsung, and yeah, I love a lot of them. I need a Note 10 Plus. My Note 8 is getting old. I understand. Alright guys, we will call that a show. Thank you guys always so much for watching. We do have some reviews coming up this week with the LG G8, with the OnePlus Pro, and with the Pixel 3a. So lots of reviews coming later this week. Thank you guys always so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. And now, this will be gone. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.